Hey guys, welcome back to the Unfiltered Gamer board game review. Today's game with the top is actually 3 games, and we're doing something a little unique here. We're going to introduce you to 3 games made by Korea board games. The first one is going to be Pile Up Rush, and they're all dexterity, by the way. So if you're interested in dexterity games, check it out. Pile Up Rush is the first one, and this one is for two players, or you can actually play in teams if you'd like. About 20 minutes, 7 and up. This is Yumm Pancakes, and you can play this with 2 to about 6 players. And then you've got Topito, which is also one of those games where you can play up to 2, or you can play 2 to 4 players, about 15 minutes to play, about ages 7 and up. In Pile Up Rush, this is a Jenga style game in which you're going to be placing these different blocks and stuff like that on a surface, and you'll be flipping a timer. And as you flip the timer, you're going to place something down, and then your opponent's going to flip it back when they place something down, and it's going to be that kind of a rush, where if the timer runs out, you lose, or if any of the pieces drop off of this platform, you're going to lose as well. A very simple dexterity game with an interesting twist to it. This one here, Yumm Pancakes, actually comes with 2 components. You've got the pancake flipping, like, the pan, as well as the little plastic pancakes. You're going to show them face up. Your opponents are then going to look at them, memorize them. You're then going to flip them yourself, and then if your opponents can guess which ones are the ones that flipped over that you're going to go ahead and choose, then they're going to get points, and if they can't guess it, you do. Whoever has the most points at the end is the winner. And finally, Topito. Topito is an interesting game that involves blocks, and you're going to be placing blocks on pedestals, and you're going to get cards to determine how you want these blocks to be placed. On your turn, you can choose to place 1 block or move a stack of blocks. And as you move these stacks around, you're going to be trying to play these cards that predict, or to dictate where you should have these stacks of blocks on. So if you need one that says elephant, monkey, rhino, you need to make sure that those 3 are in that stack on that specific one, this specific pedestal. And if you can do that, you're going to get a point. You're going to draw a new card, and you're going to keep doing that until you get a certain amount of cards. And whoever gets the first to that specific amount of cards is the winner. 3 unique little dexterity games. Let's go ahead and talk about all of them. So here are the 3 games. We got Yumm Pancakes, we got Topito, and then we've got this Pile Up Rush game. We're going to talk about Yumm Pancakes first, so I'm going to go ahead and move these guys aside. All right, so here we have Yumm Pancakes right here. It comes with the rule booklet as well as how to play in English, and I believe this is in Korean. And it's going to give you a little pot, or pan I should say, and you're also going to get a bunch of these little pancakes, right? You're going to start by putting 8 inside at random into this little pan here. Once you have 8 in here, you're going to have your opponent look at them. Okay, so go ahead and look at them. You got it? You got a good idea what they are? All right, so the next thing that's going to happen is I'm going to take this, I'm going to try and flip it. Great, so I flipped it. And now the objective is, depending on how many players you can play, you're going to try and dictate who you think you should have guess these. So I'll say, okay, how about you? You can go ahead and guess. Which one is this? And you can guess between the blueberry, banana, strawberry, and kiwi, I believe, and chocolate. Those are the 5 different types. And if you can guess it, go ahead. Did you get it right? Blueberry? If you did, you'd get a point. If you didn't, I get the point. And maybe I'll have your friend go ahead and guess this one. All right? That's kiwi. If he got it, he would get a point. If not, I would get the point. And we can keep doing that. Now, you can also stop whenever you want. You always have to at least flip over 2. And if you're able to flip over 5, then you're always going to get that free point as the flipper. But you have to at least be able to flip 2. If they ever fall out of the pan, you have to put them back in face up. Once you've chosen as many guesses as you'd like to give your opponents, you flip the rest over face up afterwards, and then put amount equal to 8 back in here. You can play up to any amount, or you can play up to 12. Whoever gets 12 wins. It just depends on how you want to do it. But after that, that's as simple. So you pass the pan to the next person, so you get to do it, and then you would try and flip it until you get 2, and you keep flipping until you did get 2, and then you can have me guess, or one of the other opponents guess. And that's the idea for Yumm Pancake. That's all you got to do. All right, let's go ahead and talk about Pile Up Rush now. So here's Pile Up Rush, and it comes with another Korean as well as English rulebook, and you're going to get this little staging platform here. This staging platform is really cool. It's going to give you the hard mode and the easy mode. You're also going to be playing with 2 different sides of the board. This would be my side of the board, and this would be your side. You're going to get all these different little weird gadgets and gadgets. Put this thing in the middle. We'll go ahead and play easy mode, right? You're going to take this timer here, and on the timer is going to show you there's 2 lines. And as the timer goes down, this line is going to, you need to wait till this line goes all the way down to this point here. While that's happening, the first player is going to try and place 3 different blocks of their choice anywhere they'd like, just like that. And until this line goes, until this sand gets to this line, you can't flip it. But as soon as it does, you can. However, if it takes longer, it takes longer. Okay, so now it's flipped, and now it's gone down past the line. we're going to flip this. Now I have to go ahead and place one block, and I have to make sure I put it somewhere. As soon as I place, then I can go ahead and flip this over, and now it's my opponent's turn. They're going to go ahead and place something like this. If something ever falls off, that's instantly the end of the round. So that would be the end of the round for this player here. After that, you wait for this timer to go off, and then you're going to go ahead and have the red player choose any of their blocks to get rid of for the rest of the game. He would choose that block to get rid of, and the game would start again, with me being the person to put the blocks down. Or, actually, no, sorry, it is the opponent who gets to put the blocks down. Whoever loses has to put new blocks down, and you're going to start it once again. And once it gets to the line, you flip it over again, and then keep going. Once one person reaches 4 blocks that they've lost, when somebody gets 4 blocks that are gone, that's the end of the game, and the person who was the one to knock them off of 4 blocks is going to be the winner of Pile Up Rush. A really cool little dexterity game, huh? Finally, we've got Topito, which is kind of like this interesting little circus game, and you're going to get all these different little blocks here. See all the little blocks? I think there's about 9 of them here, yep. You can get 3 little platforms as well as a big deck of cards. You deal out 4 cards to each player, and then set the cards aside. Now, on your turn, it's fairly simple. You can take one of these guys and put it on any of these places here. However, if there's already guys on here and they're already stacked up, another option would be you could take any stack and move them to any other stack or any other pile. And you can stack it in any way you want. Now remember, if anything ever falls, you're going to actually lose a point as well as put it back just as it was found. On your turn, you're trying to place guys that are in certain alignments. So for this one, it's simple. You need to have this guy on the bottom and this guy on top. If you did that, or if your opponent did that, you would simply play this as a point, and you would get to draw a new card. Now they all have different things. This one says any of these 3, and it says it has to be on the yellow little platform here. This one here says they have to just be stacked in this order, but it doesn't matter what platform. And there's a couple other unique ones. Here's another one that's just those 3. But yeah, they have different ones. Here's another one. This one says this clown here has to be the 4th one in a stack, and there has to be a 5th one on top of it. And here's another one that's just simply those 2 together. This one here is another 4th one, and there's also 3rd ones, and so on and so forth. But the idea is you need to get up to 7 points. And if you can do that, you win. Whoever's the first person to do that is going to win. Remember, you have that option to either place like this, and then it'll be your opponent's turn to place like this. And then also, you have the option of actually taking any amount of guys on the stack and trying to move it onto another stack. If it falls, you're going to lose a point that you had gained, and then it would pass to your opponent, and you'd actually put this back exactly as it was left off. That's the game Topito, and that's how it's played. So that's how you play those 3 games: Pile Up Rush, Yumm Pancakes, and Topito. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about all 3 of them. Now, first of all, as just go ahead and go to like an overall thing. These are all kids games. So if you're looking for deep strategy, go elsewhere. However, there's actually some strategy and complexity in the dexterity games, and it's kind of funny because as you play them, they're going to require you to actually be able to do certain things that you didn't normally think you could, and you get better and better at them as you continue. Nevertheless, though, these are for younger kids, and it's definitely going to be one of those things for a younger audience. Let's talk about Yumm Pancakes first. Well, this game, it comes with a frying pan and some plastic pancakes, right? First thing I thought of was like, what? There's no game here. There is. It's fun. Really, really enjoyed it. Flipping those pancakes actually takes some skill, and you're trying to learn how to do it so that your opponents can't figure out which ones you flipped or how you flipped them. And you have to actually choose which opponent you want to show or to have try and guess. And the ones that are less able to guess it, the better it is you want to have them actually go ahead and do it. You can also just have house rules where you can only have each one person guess once, or any of that kind of stuff. Nevertheless, though, it's a lot of fun. I've really, really enjoyed this game. Definitely good for young kids, because see it in any kind of like daycare setting, playing with younger children, your friends, family, any of that kind of stuff. Really fun little dexterity game though. Yumm Pancakes. Simple as that, right? Topito. This is probably one of the more complex of the bunch, in which you're going to be actually trying to set them in a specific orientation, as well as trying to move the blocks. Sometimes you're moving 4 or 5 at a time, and that can get really strenuous. It gets kind of crazy as well, because you really want to get that last point in the game, but then you drop it and you lose a point, so now you need to get 2 points, and your opponent knows that you need that last card, so now he's going to move it. So this game can be played with an older audience for sure. Definitely still for kids though. Definitely super fun. Wonderful little game that involves learning the styles, how to move things, understanding the different orientations, the difference in some balancing, all this kind of stuff. A really fun little learning game for kids. It also has that little extra complexity for adults. And you can increase the amount of cards you need, or decrease the number of cards you need to make it easier, a longer game, or a shorter game. Finally, Pile Up Rush. This game has not only the dexterity aspect, but also a speed aspect to it as well. You're trying to play some of these platforms, and the hard mode is definitely hard. We were playing with adults this game, and it was tons of fun. We were like screaming at each other, flipping that timer, because that timer makes the game, right there, that timer. And when you're like seeing the timer run out to the little bottom, they're trying to place that last piece on there. Obviously, you can also win if all your pieces are placed on there before your opponent, so that's important as well. But mainly, that's never going to happen. Things are going to fall off way before that, and people are going to be screaming and flipping out and stuff like that. And it makes a really interesting team game as well. A really fun little game too, Pile Up Rush. So overall, all of these games are fun. They're all enjoyable. They're all very simple. There's not a lot of complexity to them. You can learn them all in about 3 or 4 minutes, like I showed you throughout the little review for you. And it does present with a nice little additive of the kid games I haven't actually seen a lot of. I was happy to get a lot of these Korean board games. It's literally what the company's called, is Korean board games. And they presented me with 3 dexterity games and 3 card games. So I'm going to be doing this review for these 3, and then I'll do another one for the card games. But suffice to say, all the dexterity games were a lot of fun. I really enjoyed them. And I think it's one of those things, too, where you're going to see the game. You're going to know if it's for you, know if it's for your family, or if you have kids, know if it's for them. So I'll leave it up to you. But for me, I liked it.